Check. 1, 2, 3. If one of you could do a check for me as well.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Hi, welcome to Fun Facts Live. I'm your host David, and with me today is Allison.
Hello.
RJ. It's real hard to... Caitlin's missing today. She's not feeling well, so it's like I completely lost my train of thought. But we have RJ today doing her drawings.
Hello.
And Maria.
Hi.
And Maria got a special guest with us today. Maria, can you tell us about your guest?
Today we have my dear friend Carrie, who lives in Florida. She lives in Florida with her adorable daughter, her husband, and her mini Sue. And she'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but at the end of the year we've known each other for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How long have you been in Florida?
I have been here probably about as long. I've been here since 2009.
Wow. My parents moved down to Florida probably 10 years ago or so, right as Hurricane Charlie came through.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it went right over their house, like the eye, and they had just moved in. Anyway, I now one of my favorite things to do is to come down to visit them in January and February, so I get to miss out on all the freezing cold weather up here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is an awesome time of year to be in Florida. Maybe not right now, though.
No, not right now. Not right now. It's like a constant conversation I have with Maria where I'm like, what is the temperature there? Because it is like Hades over here, so...
Okay, now we gotta have to do a comparison because RJ's in Texas. And who's got the hotter weather today? What is it in Florida?
Let's see.
We're supposed to get our first 100-degree day today.
Wow, yeah.
Oh gosh, okay, I don't think it's that hot. It's... Yeah. I think that we're still in the like upper 80s right now.
Okay, not too bad.
But it's humid there.
That's the humidity gets you.
It is.
Yeah, when I went to Miami, I was like dying from the humidity. It was not even that hot, but it was like, I can't do this. I'm a North Texas person. I can't do the humidity.
Yeah, Maria was tempting me this morning with, for the first time I felt slightly tempted to maybe visit Sweden. Because it's only a high of 69 there.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. So that's pretty nice.
66 in Medellin today, but raining. I want to be there.
That sounds fantastic. So I'm a little confused because I thought when you introduced Maria introduced you as Carrie, and I thought it was pronounced slightly differently. Is that you pronounce it differently, right?
That's just... I do, because so my family's Hispanic, and so it's got more of a like it's Cadi, because that's how they say my name. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, Carrie, Cadi, yeah, same.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, do you have a fun fact for us today?
I do have a fun fact. So in college, I studied language acquisition for a while, and I actually worked in a language lab. So I'm always like super into all sorts of like information about language acquisition. And I actually came across a really interesting study recently where it was discovered that babies are able to cry in their native tongue.
What?
And what that means is that they cry in the melody of their mother's native tongue. So like they had studied a bunch of babies, I think it was like 60 babies, 30 of them were French, 30 were German. And in the study they found that the French babies cry on a rising note that mimics the melody of French speaking, and that German babies cry on a falling note, which mimics German speaking. Yeah.
What? That's amazing.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
So is it like birth after a certain age once they're like out of the womb and they hear conversation, or is it like
They just come out
earlier
screaming in their
than that?
in their native language.
Yeah.
It's actually it's so fascinating. So it's actually earlier than that. It can be discovered as early as 2 days after a baby is born. So what that means is that in the womb they are picking up language already. Like they're already picking up inflections and tones and melody of the languages that they're exposed to.
Very interesting. So you can basically figure out the native tongue of the mother by listening to the cry. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder if that translates to other things like laughing or any other kind of exclamations. Yeah.
It does.
Oh.
It is actually part of the reason that like animal noises or animal sounds have different pronunciations, is because of language acquisition, and mimicking actual language changes the way that certain sounds are translated.
Huh. Wow. That is pretty amazing. I'll have to be more attentive to that. We hear a lot of crying babies in the park. So I'll have to see if I can distinguish them. That is hilarious. And I love RJ's drawing. I don't know if you can see that. There's a
I do.
Yeah,
it's cute.
I guess that's the French flag. What you
Oh, there's a glare.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, that was a lot of fun.
That's really fun.
Maria, I hear you have a word of the day that we can actually pronounce.
Well, probably.
Okay.
It's related to my fun fact.
Okay.
And the word is noll, like nil, but with an O, and it means zero.
Okay.
No, I feel like I did not say it. The L was really complicated. Can you say it again?
Noll.
Noll.
Yeah.
Am I getting it?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I think it's the closest you've been.
Oh, really? There's hope for me yet.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about Noll.
Well, it's actually about temperature scales.
Okay.
Yeah, which connects to the introduction. And Fahrenheit is mostly used in the United States, some island territories, and Liberia. The rest of the major countries use Celsius, and Celsius is a Swedish invention
Oh, nice.
by the 18th century astronomer Anders Celsius,
Okay.
and it was called centigrade scale at first,
Yeah, I
which
remember
comes
those days.
from the Latin word centum, which means 100, and gradus, which means steps.
Okay.
And it was invented in 1742 and renamed Celsius scale in 1748.
Okay.
I remember being taught to use the word centigrade in school, but it wasn't in the 1700s. Don't worry, that's fair. But wow, okay.
And
Go ahead.
from the beginning, the scale was reversed, so it went from 100 with water freezing at 100 and water boiling at 0.
Interesting.
Yeah.
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 And Fahrenheit already existed at the time, or was that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Someone just wanted to make it more sensible.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't understand why we don't use it in the U.S. It's a real pain communicating with anyone outside. It's like really hard to do, at least in my head. It's really hard to do the conversion. So I can't.
Fahrenheit was introduced in 1724,
Okay.
and it's a German physician.
Okay. Well, that is that's fascinating. I wish we could switch. Actually, I wish we could switch to metric entirely. I don't understand why we
Yeah.
don't do that.
It'd be easy.
But every once in a while, someone.
That's like a constant.
Yeah. I don't
It's a
understand.
constant issue. I'm always
Yeah.
just like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, a lot of our package labeling is already duplicate, so we could pretty easily switch, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking like there's so many like basic things I don't know. Like I don't know my height in the metric
That's true.
system. You know, just like things I would have to like learn. Yeah.
It'd just be one generation.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Just one entire generation of people being like, what in the world is happening?
Well, there's
Oh,
been-
don't mind Grandma. She still uses Fahrenheit.
That's right. Gosh. Yeah, I was just talking about we always have a huge nest of cords and cables because I got a bunch of like laptops and iPads and phones and everything. And I was imagining a world with Allison where back in my day we used to have cords and had to plug everything in. I'm really hoping that someday batteries get good enough that we don't need cords for everything anymore. And I think it's going to happen, and then we're going to be antiquated. Yeah.
Speaking of cords,
Oh.
the European Union just voted that all cell phones needs to be able to be charged by USB-C
Yes.
in three years, I think.
That's awesome.
Very
Way to
nice.
lead the way. Yeah.
And all computers in a few years after that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. There's really only one that's a problem, right? That's totally about Apple. Because
Yes.
they're the only ones.
My Apple laptop is charged with USB-C.
Oh. Interesting. Do they have special ones for the EU or something?
I don't know. It's a new one. My iPad as well.
Huh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's really cool. My laptop is USB-C, but my iPhone is still the old lightning cable. So
Yeah, my iPhone is the old one.
here's the big question though. Apple got around this last time by making a dongle, which was really annoying. Are they allowed to do that again?
I don't think so.
Oh,
It doesn't seem like it.
okay. Yeah, I hope someone wrote that into the law or whatever so that they can't get away with just having a giant dongle off the end of it.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, because then
a hassle.
nobody wants to use that.
if anyone can get around it, it's probably Apple.
That's true. That's true. They're very good. They're very slippery.
I'm not illustrating any of this because I don't want us to get sued.
No.
Some kind of Apple defamation.
Good idea. I was jealous that some of one of the game developers who I aspired to get to his level was hanging out with Tim Cook this weekend. So he was in town. He's like, and he's on the short list of people to hang out with. So, man,
I think
day.
David is exaggerating, and it was just a group photo. But
oh, they were hanging out. Anyway, I digress. Cool. All right. Well, centigrade, Celsius. I at one time wasn't sure if they were the same thing, but it sounds like they are. It's just a rename.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool to know. All right, Allison.
And it's Swedish.
and it's sweet.
And it's Swedish, yes.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. It's Swedish where the weather is nice. It doesn't get too hot, apparently. So, Allison, what do you got for us today?
So my fun fact is inspired by something David and I happened across this morning, actually.
I know what it is.
So we were going to take the dog to the park, and all of the street between like our apartment and the park was closed off for a race. And we were watching this race, and David noticed before I did that the vast majority of the runners were women.
I was like, wow, I've never seen so many women in a race before.
Like it was at least like 20 to 1,
Yeah, probably
women
more.
to men at least. So we were like, oh, that's interesting. So I looked up more about the race. It's called the New York Mini, and it's a 10K, going back to the metric system because we do use that for races. And it was the 50th running of this race. It started as the only women-only road race, and it's named the Mini after the mini skirt. So I did a little bit of research about the history of the mini skirt, which by 1972 was apparently pretty far out of fashion. It was only at the peak of its kind of popularity between 1966 and 1972, and there's not really a consensus on the person that designed the mini skirt, but the person who gets credit the most is Mary Quant, who pretty much is kind of definitively the inventor of the mini dress, to the point where like the British government did a release of stamps about 10 years ago of like iconic British designs. So it had like the red telephone box on it and this like mini dress as something like totally iconic to their culture. So the woman who's like pretty seriously credited with inventing the mini skirt is a woman named Mary Quant, and she was like a London designer and boutique owner. But I thought the cool thing about her, although she never kind of definitively said, yes, I invented it, she said she started calling it a mini skirt after the Mini Cooper, the car, because she thought like they were similar to each other in terms of being like fun for the youth, a little smaller than regular. But I just thought that was interesting. So, but apparently by like the early 70s, because they couldn't really get any shorter, there was like a limit to what you could really do design-wise with the mini skirt, other than trying like new materials. So it was pretty much not as popular by the 70s, which is funny because this race started in 1972. But I guess people that invent road races may not be at the height of fashion. Yeah, but anyway, just a little bit about the mini skirt.
Yeah, I don't know if you said this, but it was the 50th, so a special one this time around. Yeah, it's very cool. We were just reaching the street, I think, when the first group went out, and they were flying. Oh my gosh, they were running so fast. It was the race. They were done before most of them even got started.
Yeah. Yeah, the elite runners are really impressive.
Yeah, it's really amazing to see them run. I don't know if I've ever been that close to an elite runner like that. yeah, there's like mopeds keeping track, like going alongside of them, and they're really moving
Yeah.
just to keep up. It's like pushing
Yeah.
that moped.
And then the race kind of loops through the park. So once we were able to get into the park, we got to see them towards the end as well. So we got to see people at the start and at the finish, and we only had to walk like 2 blocks. Which was nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it for our fun facts. But RJ,
I have a fun fact, sort of.
RJ has a fun fact.
Piggybacking
What?
off that, I don't have a lot of details because it's just something that I heard that this reminded me of. But I recently listened to 2 different podcasts that mention the hemline theory of economics. Have y'all heard of this?
No.
It sounds familiar to me.
No.
It's the theory that you can sort of not quite predict because it seems to be after the fact, but like get an idea of the economic strength of the country at any given point based on the fashion of headlines. So like the 70s, the miniskirts were really popular. Think of like the 20s with the flappers with their tiny dresses, versus like in the 2000s, like maxi skirts became popular again. And actually even now I've been seeing on Twitter like the long skirts are sort of coming back, and I'm like, interesting. But the skirts get shorter as like the economy is better.
Oh, I have heard that. I didn't hear it referenced as the hemline theory, but I have heard that the skirts get shorter when the economy is better.
Wow.
That is fascinating. So, yeah, I guess the trend is telling us basically the economy is starting to tank, at least in the U.S. here. Getting
Yeah, it doesn't
longer
seem
skirts.
my understanding. So again, my understanding of it is just from like hearing 2 different podcasts reference it. So I don't have a lot of. I'm not an economist or anything. My understanding is that it doesn't predict it so much as it's. I guess it's more reactive.
Okay.
Yeah. But then it's more like looking back. If you look back at the trends of like the 20s, just by looking at pictures of the fashion at the time, you can sort of get an idea of how it was then. And I also don't know whether it translates to other countries or if it's specifically US, because I know fashion is really dependent. Although I listened to an interesting podcast yesterday about a woman who grew up in Iran, and like in the 70s there, before the revolution turned it into an Islamic Republic, she said Tehran was really cosmopolitan, she said, and like, women in their miniskirts and the makeup and everything. But I know that's a sort of difference in government versus the actual economic. Because then when Ayatollah Khomeini came in, he said, you have to recover. So that's kind of forcing it rather than it being part of the fashion. But I thought that was interesting. I was actually thinking about that while I was listening to that podcast yesterday.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I wonder what the correlation is. Like, I understand there is one, but I wonder what the why does that happen? I've never heard an explanation for that. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder if it's just like feeling comfortable, just feeling good, like in general, sort of happy with the way things are going and feeling more confident.
Yeah. Or being able to afford party clothes, like
true.
Because that's not a practical outfit, so you have to have the expendable funds to be able to have.
Okay, that's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So I just looked it up, and it says that there's like a 3-year time lag between the onset of economic lows and the lengthening of the skirt hemlines. So, yeah.
So it is reactive.
Yeah. So it's like it does kind of sound more like I don't have the kind of money for like impractical wear. I'll get this really long skirt because I can wear it in all types of weather.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I like this theory. Mine were like way off. But like, this is a real digression, but the word hemline always like gives me a kind of a negative reaction, and the reason is when I was in the Air Force and up for an early promotion, one of the things that you had to do was go in front of a board and answer a bunch of questions, and these were supposed to determine whether you get the early promotion or someone else, because there's a limited number of them that go out. So I remember doing fine for most of the questions, and I felt like I really knew my job well. But I got asked, what is the Air Force regulation for the length of a woman's skirt in the military? And I had no idea, none at all. Oh. And they made me, I was like, I'm sorry, I have no idea. But they made me take a guess. They're like, just take a guess. And I was just like, 30 inches? I didn't even know that it was like...
That's a little too long.
Okay, but I didn't even know. I found out later it's relative to the knee. That's the important thing. It's like, which makes a lot of sense, because I was like, how would you know? Because if someone's tall or short, it's
Just like
different.
the fingertip rule in school. Your wear the skirts or shorts have to exceed the length of your fingertips at your sides.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I never see. I don't know if it's just how do guys get exposed to these kinds of.
You have two younger sisters.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was very unfair because I didn't get the promotion, and I felt like that was
the question.
That was what sunk me.
Maybe they wanted to see your logical thinking, and they're like, 30 inches, okay. Maybe he's not as bright as we thought he was.
Yeah, that really threw me. Yeah, not that one coming. Anyway, don't like that.
Yeah, see, I would be a pro at that question. Because school dress codes are like such an issue in my house. My daughter, she just finished 5th grade. And like anytime they had a special like dress day at school, she would come home complaining about how the teacher would constantly single out the girls with her rules. And she was like, yeah, boys can wear whatever they want. Girls, like you can't have spaghetti straps. Like your straps have to be 3 finger lengths wide. And like you can't wear skirts. You can only wear shorts. And the shorts have to be a certain length. And you can't wear leggings. And this and that. And it's like a constant barrage of like what they can and cannot wear. Whereas like the boys always got just kind of a blanket like wear whatever you want, you know. And
that's not fair.
Yeah,
that's not fair.
She gets pretty heated about it, which makes me
Good for
happy
her.
because I'm like, that's right, you should be pissed.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Well, I will say, I don't know if there's any consolation, but when I had a dress code, boys also had very specific things, like we had to wear ties, we couldn't wear shorts, couldn't wear a certain kind of shoes. Like it was terrible. I don't think I've pretty much rebelled against all of that. I don't know if I've worn a tie since. After I didn't have the option, I might have done it for a couple of special occasions in my life, but not too much.
Yeah, I've never seen you even look at a tie.
Yeah, but I can still tie one. It's ingrained in me.
Insanely, like my husband grew up in Florida, and in his high school, they were not allowed to wear shorts. Period. In Florida, like in South Florida.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's
So hot.
Like,
that's too much.
I was like, what kind of parent would sign that dress code? I would be absolutely furious.
Yeah, that's a bit much. But I did grow up under that kind of rule. And that reminds me of one more egregious thing. When I was in the Air Force, I was in San Antonio, which is very hot. And the only way to keep my shoes reasonably, keep my shoes shiny enough, was to wear plastic ones. It's like if you got like regular shoes, you would have to like polish them to a shine every day, and you'd get scuffs. Like the greatest invention for military shoes was a plastic shoe. It just stays shiny all the time. You don't have to do anything except dust them off. But the downside is when you're standing outside and the sun is beating down on those plastic shoes. Oh my goodness, they're so hot. You're like trying to keep your toes from touching the actual shoe. It's yeah.
Well, you have never been a girl wearing a jelly sandal. I can't imagine there's a more uncomfortable shoe in the heat than a jelly sandal.
Tell me about the jelly sandal. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's like a plastic cage for your feet. And they're designed for summer when your feet are just like swollen and it's horrible.
Well, it's sweaty and
Yeah.
gross. And,
Yeah.
yeah. Like the
Bad.
amount of blisters.
I think I still have nightmares about like the purple sparkly jelly shoes I got when I was like 8 and like insisted on wearing at Disney World. It was I don't think I've ever been in that much pain.
For new shoes. Yeah. She does have scars on the back of her heel. I don't know if that's proof of it. It's from that or just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing
you're
will
right.
ever be that bad.
Compared to women's footwear, I think I probably have it pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So RJ, how's the move going?
Oh, it's so hot.
Oh.
It's so hot. I went yesterday and moved some boxes up to the new house, and there's no power there. When I went the day before, there still was electricity, so it was nice and cool. And I went yesterday, and I believe it hit 99 yesterday. Today it's supposed to be 100, heat index 105, and I have to go up again today. And it is hot in the house. I like drove 20 minutes and was there for 3 minutes, like as quickly as I could get the boxes out of my car, and then drove 20 minutes back. Also, I didn't know there was no power, so I brought all my vinyl records up, and then I was like, okay, well, I lugged them into my car for no reason, and I have to lug them back into the old house because I'm not leaving them there when it's 100 degrees in the house.
No.
Yeah.
So I'll have to carry those again, and whenever we get the electricity sorted out. I think it's supposed to turn on like on our official moving day, so probably that day I will go up with the cats and the records, and the movers will take the rest of the stuff.
Wow.
But it's fine. It's okay. Like the seller left us a really, really nice note. She left us 2 notes. One was like, here are the quirks of the house, here's the sprinkler system I have set up, and here's this and this. And then the other one was like the history of the house, that her mom bought it in 2000, and then mom got remarried, so mom and stepdad really made it a home, and it has this trellis in the back, and they grew. Actually, I thought this was cute. The mother was obsessed with wine. She loved wine, and her friend from England gave her some cuttings of grapevine, so 2 cuttings, and so she grew them over this trellis and named them William and Harry. And then they grew big enough that she was able to cut off 2 more and grow them somewhere else and name them, I believe, Megan and Kate. And she included a picture of the trellis covered in grapevines, but then when her stepfather died, the grapes died with him, and they said he took the secret with him, and so there's no grapes there now, but mom passed away, and so the 2 daughters inherited the house, and the one bought out her sister and lived there for a long time, and then now has sold it to us. So she left her contact information, even like with the sprinklers, it's like the drip systems with Barry. So she's like, I know where it all is. There's a few places that need to be replaced. When you get ready to do that, feel free to call me. I'll come over and show you.
Oh, wow.
I said to Jake, like, I think that would be a favor to her if we called her and had her come over, because it sounds like she's really attached to it, which is, I love that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a housewarming party, and I'm gonna invite her.
Oh, nice.
I haven't spoken with her yet. When I go up today, I need to save her number and text her. But it was really nice. I was reading it. I was just like, oh.
That is
That
really
is so nice to
Yeah.
know the history of your house.
Yeah.
The only thing I
Yeah.
know about mine is apparently Frank Sinatra's pilot lived there once.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know if Frank Sinatra himself was ever there, but yeah, it's an old house.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ours was built in 84 or 87.
Okay.
And she said her mom bought it in 2000, but some friends of theirs lived there in the 90s. So there's just like maybe 10 years unaccounted for, whoever lived there when it was first built. But she knows who lived there all the way back to the 90s.
Well, I mentioned this on Discord, but you're moving and having to handle all these boxes reminded me of a statistic that there are, on average, 300,000 items in an American home, which is insane.
That is insane.
I think. I don't know how that compares with other like countries.
It sounds like a lot.
Yeah, my parents moved some stuff for me yesterday, and since we have movers coming, but we're doing a lot ourselves, just to save them time, save us money, whatever. And my dad's looking at all the boxes, and he's like, I don't want to take books, let the movers take the books. And I said, it's all books. Literally every single box is half books. I think we have 2,000 books between us, something like that.
Wow.
And so I was like, well, and they ended up taking Jake's army stuff. But I took some books yesterday. It's like, what else am I gonna? I want to take some things, but what else am I gonna take? What can I lift?
Oh my gosh. Well, I also found it interesting that despite having 300,000 items in the average U.S. home, and despite the fact that the average size of American home has tripled in size over the past 50 years, still 1 out of 10 Americans rent offsite storage. What is going on?
A lot of stuff.
So much stuff.
Like, I feel like if you've got things in storage, like maybe it's time to part with them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
too
like,
much.
With the exception of being, if you're moving into a smaller place, like while you're waiting for a bigger place and you're like have to get, store your furniture or something, like I understand that.
Right.
It just seems that like if you're keeping a storage unit just to keep more stuff,
Yes.
yeah, like that, you probably don't need that.
Yeah, that I agree. Too much stuff. Oh, here's another fun statistic. 25% of Americans don't have any room to park cars inside their garages.
Oh,
That's actually something I've noticed here. Like, there's all these cars just sitting outside, and I'm like, you guys have garages. Like,
Yeah, but
what is happening?
use them for storage.
They're just stuck.
It's out of control.
That's crazy.
And I mean, I can't even say anything because my husband's car is currently parked in the driveway. But it's because we have a fridge there that our landlord's supposed to come pick up. But it's bizarre to me that I see like cars parked on lawns when there's a perfectly good garage.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, here's one maybe you can see how you stack up to. Research found that the average 10-year-old owns 238 toys, but plays with just 12 daily.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
238 toys. Like what? I don't know. What's going on?
I can tell you that my daughter probably has like 3 times that. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
my goodness.
Like half of her room is just toys. Like she's got this giant Barbie like mansion in there, and it monopolizes so much of her room.
Wow.
And so, like, I do have to wonder: are they counting like each individual like item? Because she's got
Yeah.
like, furniture from
Yeah.
the Barbie house. She's got like shoes and doll dresses and pants. Like, do each of those count as one?
Yes. Yeah, she's probably got half of your items right there. Okay, there's one more. Go ahead.
I listened to a podcast interview with the minimalists, and actually their advice, they mentioned that 300,000 also, and their advice was to pack up as if you're moving, and then like unpack things just as you need them. And anything that's not unpacked after like a month or whatever, just get rid of it.
Yeah, that
And
works
that's how
really
you
well.
do minimalist life.
I can attest to that because after I moved out, I thought I needed to store everything, and I had storage for a while. And then at one point, I'm kind of a pack rat, so I wanted to get rid of things, but I just asked some friends and family to just throw it all away when I wasn't there. And that was that. It actually felt really good.
Sort of.
Now, I do still have some storage.
Yeah, because the other day, I don't know what prompted it. He asked me if I thought he should keep one of his high school textbooks because he might like to read it again once.
College. It was in college.
Oh, I thought you said it was high. Well, yeah. That he has not seen because it's been in storage for I think at least 10 years.
Yeah, I'm not counting. My parents have been dragging around stuff since I lived at home for their entire lives. They've asked me a few times if I can get rid of it. I'm like, oh no. It reminds me of watching that Hoarders show at the time, for a time, and one of my favorite episodes, if you can have a favorite episode of that, was this woman who was having an intervention. Her friends were coming to help her, and this house was to the point where it just had a few pathways through mountains of stuff. It was just completely packed floor to ceiling, and so they went in with her, and they were like, "Can you throw this away? Can we get rid of this? No, I need that. No, I need that." There was one in particular, which one of her friends found something. It was like, "Oh, surely you can get rid of this. It's an old bill from like 20 years ago." And the woman looks at it and she's like, "Oh, but that has an old address on it that I have, and I want to keep that." It's like that. That's when I realized, like, oh my goodness, I do that. Like, I have old mail from old addresses that I don't want to throw away. Like, oh no, I'm a hoarder. So yeah, I have to have other people throw things away for me. And also, living in a very small space helps a lot.
Yeah.
So you just can't collect things. But all right, well, I think we've digressed quite a bit, so let's wrap it up here. RJ, can you tell us where people can find us online?
Yes, I changed my outro, so let's see how this goes.
All right.
If you like the show, follow us on all the social media. We're at Hot Chai Games on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. If you're not watching live right now, we're also Hot Chai Games on YouTube. We will record this podcast with live art every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you are watching live right now, stick around for the Match Solitaire Daily Challenge. Either way, like, subscribe, leave a review, and tell your friends.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
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 Good morning. It is still morning.
Yes.
Last time I messed that up. Good morning. Welcome to the Match Solitaire Saturday Challenge Live. Every Saturday we play the Match Solitaire Daily Puzzles after recording the Fun Facts Live podcast at 11 a.m. Eastern, and you're invited to take the challenge with us and see if you can beat our times. I'm your host, David, and with me today is Allison.
Hello.
RJ.
Hello.
Maria.
I
And Carrie.
Hello.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with Carrie. I'm so paranoid of...
Just with confidence.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We had a lot of fun with Carrie this morning on the podcast, although apparently your daughter did not appreciate our commentary on her
Our Barbie slander. Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, we're trying to get her daughter on the show to defend her Barbie house, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, on to the Match Solitaire challenge. I hear on Discord that puzzle number 3 is difficult today, so this could be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm caught up on editing, so I don't have to do the countdown for that reason. Who?
I think I won last week.
You won?
I think so.
I think I won
it
last
might be
week.
my turn.
Oh yeah, I didn't win, but I did beat David.
Okay.
I won maybe the week before.
That's all that matters to her. That's all she remembers, whether or not she beat me. Okay, so it's
might
Maria.
be my turn.
All
Okay,
right.
okay.
Let's give us the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, I understood go. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can actually finish this without having to get hints today. That would be painful.
They said it was hard, but somebody sent a solution, so it's
Oh,
at
okay.
least solvable.
Okay. What, you doubt that?
Well,
I
Finish number one.
haven't had an
Oh my
unsolvable one.
gosh.
What?
How did I finish number 1?
What? You finished already?
Oh
I
gosh.
was still
Maybe I should
yapping
say
away.
it's solvable by a human.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Yeah, that's true. That's not guaranteed.
Goodness
We
gracious.
do have an unsolved challenge if anyone is up for it and wants. I'll post it on Discord. It's already there, but I can post it again. It is stacking a match 4. There's a theory Caitlin came up with originally, I believe, that every match 4 should be stackable, but there's now at least 1 or 2 that no one's been able to stack yet, so.
Okay, done with the first one.
What? Okay.
Briefly forgot how to play during the second one, but I think I'm okay. Finished 2.
Oh my gosh. Forgot how to play. That's hilarious.
It happens sometimes.
I think I did forget.
By the way, I should say, Carrie, if you want to play, you can download it at matchsolitaire.com.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do that right now.
Cool. It's I have to admit it's kind of a difficult game, although I think it starts off reasonably. Although I still haven't solved the first one yet.
Okay, done with the second one.
Oh my
I think I'm
gosh.
about to solve the first one.
Okay.
All right, this is the hard
Why
one,
am I having
right?
so much trouble? The third one is
Okay.
supposedly the hard one, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got the first one.
Oh my gosh. Why am I having so much trouble with this one?
Restart.
Carrie, one common theme here is that I always get beat at my own games. I still haven't managed to come up with a game that I can win. One of these days. It's depressing.
Hey, you're doing good work, son.
Okay.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Restart.
I might have to just break down and put in some sort of cheat code or something that I could just type in my score or something.
Splendid.
No, that wouldn't.
Actually, I will say there's kind of a market for games like that. I remember I have a very distinct memory of going to a training for a job, and it was like we were staying in dorms for a little while. All the boys were playing. This was like a summer job, so we were all, late teens. All the boys were playing this game called this video game called Screen Cheat, where like screen cheating is frowned upon in most games. Where if you're playing like one of those multiplayer games where you share, split screen, the person playing next to you, that's frowned upon. That's considered cheating. But in this game, everyone is invisible. So the only way to know where your opponents are is by screen cheating.
Oh.
And it was really fun to watch. Like the maps have like different colored regions, so you can just glance at your opponent's screen and see like in what general area they are. And yeah, it was really fun to watch.
Yeah,
like I
that's
thought
pretty
that was
clever.
kind of cute, like taking something that you're really generally not supposed to do in a game and making it the whole point of the game.
That's a great idea. Might have to riff on that someday.
Don't.
Still on. I did finish number 1. I finished the first puzzle. So. Nobody's
No luck
impressed.
at all with green.
Me either.
I got one match and I don't even know how. How did I get there? How do I get back?
My only consolation is that you guys are all going to be stuck and I have plenty of time to catch up.
Finished number 2.
Uh-oh. Nope. By the way, Carrie, this is the way the podcast actually started. We started doing this and then just having conversations, and then we're like, we should just make a podcast.
Yeah.
So
I'm sitting here like mesmerized by the screen, trying to figure
What's
out what
good?
is happening. It's moving so
Oh,
fast.
I can explain. Actually, I'm going to restart. So if you watch my screen on the left, so the object is to get rid of all the cards. The cards can stack up, down, or both ways, which is always a confusing sentence. But basically, it means that like a 5 can go on a 4, or a 3 can go on a 4. So you can go either up or down in sequential order. And then they also wrap. So you go ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king, and then back around to ace. So those are the stacking rules. If you have multiple suits, which we do today because we're on the hard puzzle, you have to follow suit in order to stack. So you can't stack like hearts on spades, something like that. So those are the stacking rules. Then where it gets interesting is the matching rules. So if you have 3 of a kind that are not covered up, so in other words they're on the top of the stacks, you can match them and they'll disappear.
Okay.
That's it. It's
Okay.
So the rules are pretty basic, but it's surprisingly difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Because there's a little bit of a trade-off. Like, because sometimes you'll expose a match and you could collect it, but if you do, it messes up like collecting the rest of them. So it's like you're not always sure at which point to start collecting. So anyway, it's probably not for everyone, but if you enjoy puzzles, it's a pretty interesting puzzle. So there's a lot of variety in the difficulties and the types of deals, I guess, decks that are dealt.
Yeah,
so
that's my favorite part about it. That the daily challenges go up like consecutively harder, but in the regular levels, it doesn't. So you don't get to a point where you can't solve it anymore because it's above your skill level. Like you'll have a streak where you can solve like 10 in a row and then hit one hard one.
Yeah.
or 2 or 3 hard ones in a row, and then get another one where there's 10 in a row easy. Making up numbers, but
Yeah. Yeah, and if you do get stuck on a hard one in the regular levels, unlike the daily, which is just brutality, in the regular puzzles you can get hints, and you can use power-ups to like just like blast the cards away or whatever. So if you got a level it's really frustrating, you don't want to do, yeah, you can just blow it away. Just takes coins, which you earn from the easy levels, in theory. Oh my gosh, I'm so stuck on the second one. I'm having a rough time.
I somehow managed to get 2 matches on 3, and then just got completely stuck from there. I can't get more than 2.
Me too.
All right. Think.
But you said someone did solve it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
just gonna pull down and see who's on the notification, or see the notification of who sent it, but I have a lot of notifications right now. Y'all don't want to see that.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Dave T.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Dave T. Yeah, I gotta have him on the podcast at some point. He's crushing all my games. I'm so close to getting 2, but I just can't get over the hump here.
This is not working when it looks like it should be working.
Done.
You did it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was stressful.
I'm still on 2. All right. That's amazing. And you did it on screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won this week. Somebody remind me next week.
No one's going to remind you.
I think you'll probably remember it.
Yeah, she'll remember. She's not going to forget that. Wow. That's impressive. I didn't even get a chance to try it.
Well, technically you did.
No, I'm still on 2.
I know. You had a chance.
Oh, I see. You're saying I blew my chance.
Yes.
I never even got to start it. Let's see. Put it that way. Ugh. All right. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys. Let me know if you want to call it, since we do have something on the stream to show.
I'm not getting anywhere, so.
Yeah, I gotta go move some boxes.
Okay.
All
All right. I think that's it. Nice job, Allison. All right. Well, I will go struggle on this on my own off the stream.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you again here, same time, same place, next week.
Yep.
Bye.
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 Bye.